Just in regards to Labor Day weekend, the Labor Day holiday weekend is one of the most festive times of the year in New York City. Both the Juve Festival and the West Indian American Day Parade celebrate rich cultural heritage, and it showcases our city's vibrant diversity. And it's the NYPD's job to keep everyone safe so they can enjoy these magnificent events. And as we do each year, we'll have a strong police presence at events all throughout the weekend. Our uniformed officers will be on foot post on patrol. Our community affairs officers will be out engaging the public, and we will be working day and night to protect residents and party goers alike. There will be plenty of safety measures that people will see, and there will be plenty of measures that you will not see. We will be using some of our technology to enhance our security plan, including the use of our drones. As a matter of fact, it was last year at this parade where we displayed our drones, and we were able to mitigate a very tough situation on the Parkway where we needed to be able to see how big the crowd was, and through the use of the drones we were able to send proper resources to take care of the situation. Our drones allow us to respond quickly, and they'll give us a bird's eye view of whatever may be going on. And as always, we'll rely on our partnerships in both the public and the private sector. We are proud to closely work with the West Indian American Day Carnival Association, with Juve City International, and with our valued members in the Mayor's office and at City Hall. And of course, the invaluable efforts of our crisis management system, Pastor Gil Monroe's God Squad, and many other CMS organizations that do incredible work around this city. Our elected officials here in Brooklyn and all across the city. And with everyone else, our communities, our party goers, who work hard every year to make sure that these celebrations go off in a safe manner. We will be looking forward to a fun weekend, and we want everyone to enjoy themselves. So I encourage everyone to come out and celebrate with your fellow New Yorkers, and be sure to do it safely and responsibly. We accomplish public safety best when we do it together, cops and community working as one to ensure safety. And together we're going to have a great festival this weekend. So now, to provide some additional details about our security plan, I'm going to turn it over to the two chiefs of Brooklyn, Chief Charlie McAvoy of Brooklyn South and Chief Scott Henderson of Brooklyn North. Chief McAvoy?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chief Madry, and good afternoon all. We at the NYPD and Patrol Borough Brooklyn South in particular have a three-part comprehensive security plan. The first part of it is the Enhanced Patrol Coverage Plan. The second part of it is the Juve Plan. And the third part, of course, is Monday morning, the West Indian Day Plan. I want to thank our CMS providers, as Chief Madry already had mentioned. Pastor Gil Monroe is here from the 6-7 Clergy Council. Roughly, there's going to be, as similar to last year, 9 different CMS organizations that are going to work with us seamlessly and give us extra coverage, and we had tremendous success last year working with them. We also are going to be working again with our interagency partners, Department of Buildings, Department of DEP, Fire Department, Department of Corrections, and Department of Transportation. In case we come across any illegal parties, illegal social clubs, they greatly assist us in abetting them. We also have a very robust community response team, public safety team, and neighborhood safety team plan, which commenced last Thursday, August 22nd. So far, we've had tremendous success. They are deployed strategically throughout the precincts, the 6-7, 7-0, 7-1 precincts. We have a tremendous amount of equipment for this whole Labor Day weekend. There are, when you have the Juve Parade, which goes 1.6 miles, there are 13 entry points. To gain access into one of those entry points, you must be wanded. We have 300 wands, so anybody enter the entry points will be wanded. We also have an additional 260 light towers strategically deployed, whether it's on Eastern Parkway or throughout the precincts, the 6-7, 7-0, and the 7-1 precinct. We have 6 sand trucks to assist us as well. There are 6 drone teams working. 6 are going to be working during the Juve Parade. 6 are going to be working during the West Indian Day Parade. There's also the 6-7 drone first responders that we have accessible at all times. And there are dozens of temporary cameras strategically deployed throughout the borough in accordance, and also to help us with all the other cameras that are deployed as well. Some other information with regard to the Juve Parade. As of right now, there are 22 rhythm and steel band floats that are going to be utilized during the parade when it kicks off at 6 a.m. in the morning on early Monday morning. When we go to the West Indian Day Parade right now, there are 33 bond floats, and then followed by roughly 18 of the larger floats, the 18-wheeler floats. During the parade, a very popular question when people want to go from the north to the south side of Eastern Parkway, there are 6 different pedestrian crossings at strategic intersections, and we also have 5 different locations within the subway if someone wants to go from the east side or the north side or the south side of Eastern Parkway through the subways. So I'm now going to turn it over to Assistant Chief Scott Henderson, the Commanding Officer of Patrol Borough Brooklyn North.
Good afternoon. Patrol Borough Brooklyn North is going to be working collaboratively with our counterparts in Brooklyn South to ensure that this is a safe and festive event. Chief McAvoy and I have been meeting to make sure that we are coordinating our efforts. We've been meeting with the community, the organizers of this event, as Chief Madry said, and the overall goal, I want to reiterate, the overall goal is that we are looking to have a safe and festive event, and we are going to be out here to ensure that that happens. Last year was a very safe event, and we're looking for that to happen again as well. We're also, and it's key that we are going to be on the ground, myself, Chief McAvoy, with our community partners, Pastor Monroe's, the God Squad, the 7-7 Clergy Council, our Cure Violence people, and we're going to use them in the forefront to kind of mitigate any issues before we have to take any action. We're going to use our community partners to make sure that any issues that arise are handled appropriately before we have to take any action. But again, we're looking forward to having a safe event. We're going to be out there all weekend and looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yep. I'll introduce our good dear friend representing the mayor's office, clergy, and the community, Pastor Monroe.
Thank you all so much, and good afternoon. Thank you all the chiefs and leaders of the NYPD. We're very grateful. As you said, I'm Pastor Gilman Rose, Faith Advisor to Mayor Eric Adams, and the founder and president of the God Squad. We have been meeting collectively with the NYPD, our crisis management team, clergy, community leaders, Radica, Juve City, party promoters, concerned citizens, elected officials, around what we believe that we have actually turned the corner now, and we have a safe West Indian Day, Labor Day weekend. We have an organized Juve. We have an organized Labor Day weekend. We have over 1 million people coming to Brooklyn to enjoy the festivities. We have been at this for many, many years, about 7 years now. It is safe to say that normally when we come to this time and this parade, we should treat this parade like any other parade. There are risks, but there are also an opportunity for New Yorkers to share in the culture, which you will see on Juve Night and also too as the West Indian Day Parade. And this is a bona fide parade. And again, I think for us and from the mayor's standpoint is that we have put in enormous resources into this weekend. Not only when you look at police officers, but you look at community groups, you look at clergy, you look at faith leaders who is going to be mitigating situation as they arrive on the ground. Public safety is a shared responsibility. The police department have the responsibility, community has a responsibility, and also to our Cure Violence, anti-violence group also have responsibility for a safe weekend. We are confident that we'll continue to work together. We're confident that we're going to have a safe weekend. This weekend is like any other weekend in New York City. It's a weekend that people will go about the business. It's a weekend where people will enjoy the culture, but it's a weekend that you will see the breadth, the width, and the dynamics of how we can work together, the community and with the police. Our duty and our job is to really make sure that people are confident that we have your safety as our #1 priority. We want you to enjoy the festivities and leave the safety up to the people who have been working on this plan for months to come. And so we are grateful again for the leadership of the NYPD. We are grateful for the leadership at DYCD, Mark J., the crisis management teams, clergy, faith leaders, and the people who are on the ground making this weekend safe. Our prayer is that we'll have a safe weekend, and our action will back up our prayer by the work and the hours that we are going to put in. So thank you again, Chief Maggi, for your leadership. Thank you for the NYPD to doing this job, and we are grateful for the partnerships. Thank you.
Thank you.
Open it up to on-topic questions. Let's start off with Dan Wrigley from New York One.
Hi, how are you? I had one question for the Chief of Brooklyn South. You mentioned illegal parties. I haven't heard that term since college. What is an illegal party, and what are the resources and the attention NYPD pays to those outside the parade route, outside of the Juve route? And then I'll have a question for Chief Madry, too.
Well, any illegal social clubs where they do not have license, they're not licensed by the SLA. There may be some underage drinking in there, so we use DEP if there's music, and we will go in there and take appropriate action and prevent a unforeseen occurrence.
And for Chief Madry, you heard the pastor say we turned a corner. I used to go to this parade when I lived here in the neighborhood about 10 years ago. It definitely had a reputation. And what do you think had changed over the past 5 years, 10 years? And what do you think the reputation is now? Do you think it deserves a new one?
Absolutely, it deserves a new one. When I first made captain 21 years ago, I was assigned out here in Brooklyn South. And for many years, I was the Juve response captain. And it was very dangerous. It was a tough night to work. When I was ripping and running around all night from scene to scene, shooting to shooting, and it just wasn't the way to do things out here. In the last few years, you really seen the community and the police join together, led by our mayor. When he was the Brooklyn Borough president, he had us in his office. He had community people. There was a call to stop the Juve parade, and we all sat down together. We sat down with our legal teams and our community teams, and we devised a plan that where we can allow people to come out and enjoy themselves, but we can take the measures to keep them safe. And we've been doing it, and we've seen a tremendous reduction in violence. So that's what it's all about. When the cops in the community get together and they really sit down and discuss the issues that beleaguer the communities, and we bring our legal advisors in, and we understand what we can do and the parameters we can work in, and we're getting the support of the community, we're going to make these events safe, and that could be any event in the city. We can do it.
Move over to Darla Miles, ABC7.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I have two questions. First, for the NYPD. This is the second. Last year, there was a big success. No shootings, no incidents of violence. Today, you talked about the staffing, the equipment. Is it the exact same from last year, or will it have some adjustments been made? And if so, what was the impetus for those particular adjustments in the tactics and the approach and security preps?
Yes. So, Ms. Miles, I will never reveal the exact number that we have out here. Our staffing levels are comparable to last year. This is a big parade. This is probably our second biggest event in the city. And, we looked at everything that happened last year. There were a few incidents where people got into it, a little bit of violence. And we make our adjustments. We adjust deployments. We try to understand if what happened last year may play a role this year. We look at current trends that are occurring in the commands that the parade and Juve take place in, and we make the adjustments accordingly. Listen, you have two of the most phenomenal chiefs in this department leading Brooklyn North and Brooklyn South. They started planning last year, Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. They've been planning for a year. They know what's going on, and they know how to put the police officers and bring the community out to help make this event a safe one.
Second question. Thank you. Just for Pastor. So you talked about turning a corner, and there clearly has been a rebranding of the parade. First of all, we want to know if it's still called the West Indian Day Parade or the West Indian Day Parade Carnival. We want to make sure that we're calling it the right term. But also, this is like 9 years since the shooting death of Carrie Gabay. And with this parade being so old, have decades, it's what, the 1930s in New York City. It's great and amazing to see this level of coordination now with the NYPD. In your assessment of how to address security moving forward, did you come to any conclusions as to why city resources to this magnitude were not deployed prior to all of those high-profile violent incidents that led to the negative reputation of the parade?
Right. So I think, you know, everyone have to evolve, and we have evolved as a city. As the chief said, he's correct that there was some calls to cancel a Juve. As a matter of fact, those calls was also made to myself. That's why I got involved in creating and making sure that our culture can remain. We have changed the city, right? We have learned from the past. The NYPD have shifted in terms of their ideas to what security means. Security for us means that the people who have greatest investment in Juve and in the West Indian Day Parade should be involved in the security and the safety of it. You're talking about vendors. The city and businesses are doing great business this weekend. This is not just about the parade. This is about mom and pop shop selling a good Caribbean food. We're talking about costumes being made. We're talking about people who are selling flags. So many flags are being sold. This is also an economic engine for us as a city too as well. That's why we are seeing the need to put the resources in. I think it's like 57 years since the West Indian Day Carnival have been going. I don't know the exact term. I know that it's a parade. We'll have to figure that out, but we'll get that information to you. But we are very delighted again as the partnership, and it shows that we are moving in the right direction. Thank you.
May I just add something to that, Ms. Miles? We never shorted the resources to this event. There was always significant police resources in terms of police officers, all our equipment, all our specialty units. What did change is when we started working stronger with when we built a stronger relationship with the community and took on different tactics like shutting down streets, wanding people in. Those are things that we weren't doing. But we needed that buy-in from the community, and we needed the community to work with us to be able to do those things. And there's one thing when the police department says, hey, we're going to shut down these streets and we're going to wand you in. It's something different when the community says, no, we want you wanded in before you come to our parade and to our Juve celebration. And once we made that connection with the community and got that buy-in and decided collectively that this is what we needed to do to keep things safe, it was just a change of the tactics. We always had a lot of resources out here, but we just needed to be a little smarter, and working closely with the community was the smartest thing we did.
All right, we know all the questions. Thank you, everyone, for your time and attention.
Everyone come out to the parade. Come enjoy yourselves. Thank you.